Howdy, folks. I'm Mark, and today is a very special episode because we are doing the first ever 11 and a half minutes talk about video games Nintendo Direct draft. So our guests here today are all assembled, and they're challenged to create the craziest, the most hype, the most 4chan leak level of absurdity, the most oops, all bangers fictional Nintendo Direct. But the catch here is that they're all drafting from the same pool of Nintendo franchises. So once a franchise is picked, it's gone for everyone else. And let's get into it here. Let's introduce our guests. From the BitBloggist conference, we have Mr. Bloggist himself. He's the host of the Bitcast and the host of Retro Dodo's Retro Gaming Podcast, Retrospect, subtitled Retro Gaming Podcast. It's Jake Martin.
Howdy, friends. Yes. Yeah. Emphasis on the retro there. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited about this. I'm nervous. I don't know how this is going to go.
There you go. Well, speaking of retro, he played more NES games in the past year than anyone else. Any one man should, but he's also a thoughtful connoisseur of all things gaming. It's Landry Smith.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, Landry. Thanks for being here. A fun fact, Jake and Landry were each my first and second guests on the podcast. So fun to have y'all here for this.
Yo, geez.
Over in the Redirect conference, he's got the spiciest takes, and all of these fictional games better be coming out within a month, or he will have words. It's AJ McRae.
Hi, hello. I am also here.
AJ, thanks for being here. And finally, in a stacked panel of real nice dudes, he's the nicest, realest dude of them all, and we'll find it very tempting to snag Golden Sun as his first pick. It's Parker Deal.
Hey.
Thanks for being here.
That's my catchphrase.
Hey, there you go.
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me and for making time for this. Speaking of scheduling, this was meant to be a 1-year anniversary celebration episode of this podcast, but really because of my own scheduling, we're recording this a good bit before that. So it'll actually be very on brand and be the 11 and a half month anniversary of the podcast.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Wonderful.
So this will, if you're out there right now, we are streaming live on Redirects. I sold the syndication rights to AJ and Parker. And this will be up on the podcast feed in a few weeks or so. So thank you everyone for listening in. Let's get right into it. And because even though this is intentionally a much longer episode and time has no meaning, I'm going to say it anyway. We have 11 and a half minutes to talk about video games. So as I mentioned, the four guys here will be competing to create the greatest Nintendo Direct of all time by drafting Nintendo franchises. And this is in the sense that they're announcing a new game in that series. So once a franchise is drafted, it's off the table for everyone else. A few other rules here. We're thinking of this as like a direct in a vacuum. A franchise already has their next game announced or it's releasing imminently. This is theoretically the game after that. So when they draft a game, they will need to give some sort of hook or like one detail that makes the game distinct from the rest of the series. And this can be anything on theme, on story, gameplay mechanic, art style, or it's the franchise in an entirely different genre. Now, what defines or delineates a Nintendo franchise from another is a little bit murky, but I'm thinking of it in terms of would Nintendo announce it at the same time? So, for example, you could argue that Mario Golf and Mario Tennis are two different franchises, or would they just be one that's Mario Sports? And we'll get into this because anyone can challenge any other person's pick. It's a little bit about trying to bend the rules and see what you can get away with. If someone challenges it, you'll go to a vote among the contestants on whether it's valid or it'll get vetoed, and they have to pick something else. If it's a tie between y'all, I'll be the tie-breaking vote. Then we're also going with what the general public would consider as Nintendo franchises, not just the games that are developed and published in-house by Nintendo. So Pokemon, for example, is made by a weird cocktail of companies, and that's on the table. And then once this episode goes live, the winner will be decided by polls on social media pages and whatnot, and that will be linked in the description. And finally, each of these franchises that they draft will need to slot into specific categories within the Direct. So you can fill in any category at any point. But once a category is filled, it is locked in and you cannot change it around once your turn is done. So these categories are the opener, what opens Direct. You need an eShop only game. So this is the game that's like maybe a $20 to $30 or maybe free digital only game. Then there's the big beefy middle, which is that 10-minute long deep dive on a game and all its systems. And then a port or remaster. And this is choosing one real life already released game. It does not have to be from a Nintendo franchise. There's also, we need a Nintendo published third party IP. So this is choosing a non-Nintendo franchise that would be published as an exclusive. So you can think of Shin Megami Tensei 5 or Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Obviously, it wouldn't be a Nintendo franchise, but it also doesn't have to be a video game franchise at all. And then finally, the one more thing, which speaks for itself. So before we get into our order, any questions from y'all on how this works? Or is it all clear as mud?
I got some questions, but I'm going to save it when it comes up. I'm not trying to spoil anything.
Yeah.
This is all very well thought out and definitely has no holes in the logic at all. So
I have one question. Has anybody else done one of these, but not specific for Nintendo Directs, but just drafts as a whole? Does anyone have prior experience?
I mean, like sports drafts?
Just drafts it up, sure.
We're doing a Pokemon league draft right now. Draft league.
There you go.
I've done a lot of fantasy football drafts, but nothing anything close to this. This is a little more chaotic, I think.
This is a lot harder.
A clear note in here, I have never hosted a draft, so we'll see how this goes. This could be terrible.
Perfect.
I will note this was really inspired by The Ringer does a lot of drafts, like the draft movies and stuff. I love their stuff. So this is kind of heavily inspired by that. So our order will be a snake draft, meaning the first person in round 1 will be the last person in round 2, and then the last shall be first, and we'll go back and forth like that. So to decide our order, I'm going to write down a number that is between 1 and 10. We'll start in the order that I introduced. Jake, guess your number between 1 and 10.
Just a good old 2.
Landry, what's your guess?
6.
Okay. Parker?
Ooh, I was going to say 7.
Okay. AJ?
4 for Legacy.
Nice. The number is a 2.
Hey, look at that. Good job.
Yes.
Our order will be Jake up first. Then we've got AJ, then Landry,
Snake draft,
and Parker.
Yep.
Then Parker will be going first in round 2. All right. So now we can finally begin, and I can shut up for a bit. So Jake, if you would, you can start us off. Tell us about your round 1 pick.
Oh man, I am nervous. Okay, so I can
Don't mess up.
I can pick any of the categories.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I got to capitalize on this because I got the best spot right now, and you guys, it's going to be a while till I get to go again. So I'm sorry in advance.
Make the most.
All right, for the, let's see, how do I want to put? I'm going to put this in the big beefy middle. All right.
Wow.
All right. So this big beefy middle is Mario Kart 9.
Wow.
Announced, and we're getting details. All right. So it's a complete reimagining that finally steps away from the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe formula we've had for the last decade. All right. Customization is a major part of this main campaign where you are fine-tuning your vehicle over multiple cups for different elements. So in the past, it's just been like, pick your wheels, pick your base, and pick your flyer. But now it's like, hey, this is an all-underwater cup, and we're going to try and fine-tune this bad boy to make sure you can handle these 2 elements. Or maybe it's a combination. You're going land and sky. You're going water and land. You're going, I don't know. You're going to space, all right? So the different elements that I'm throwing in here, we got traditional, water, off-road, air, and space races. And there's also a light story campaign of a mysterious racer that keeps on showing you up right near the end, and it's masked. You don't know who it is, but they're really, really fast. So it's going to be a great title and a refreshing new take on the Mario Kart franchise.
Nice. Very nice.
Is it called Mario Kart 9 just straight up, or is there like a different subtitle like Double Dash or Double Dash?
That's a great...
Is that the only one? I guess. I don't know.
I think that's the only one. Super Circuit.
There you go.
And they have Tour on mobile, Mario Kart World Tour or whatever. But yeah, we're sticking with 9 because the simpletons, the plebs, they just know that 8 is the next one, is the last one, and 9's the new one.
That's right.
They'll stop at 10 after that. That's what I know from my sources at Nintendo.
Yeah. Very nice. All right, AJ, you're up. What's your round one pick?
Okay, I'm gonna go in order, and I need to get this because I have a strong suspicion that me and Parker both want this. Star Fox.
No.
Star Fox.
Yeah.
For sure.
Dang it.
That was what I was like, maybe nobody else is gonna maybe it could sneak in, but no, AJ for sure.
AJ, this is your opener?
Yes.
Is that what you said? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So the concept for the Star Fox game that I would announce would be, let's call it Star Fox Rogue, and it will be an open world roguelike situation where you control a random customizable animal that is supposed to take up the mantle of the Star Fox legacy. And you have to be able to meet the demand of what they've done as bounty hunters before Star Wolf is able to conquer the rest of the whole situation. So it's kind of like a race against time sort of situation. And also it's like open world bounty hunting sort of thing, you get different bounties from the foundations or whatever, and you're supposed to either like undercut Star Wolf or beat them to the punch and all that sort of stuff. Nice. I think that there should be of course online multiplayer elements where people can snipe your contracts and that sort of thing, or sabotage your missions by jumping into your game. This probably should be a thing that you can limit in some way, where it's only people that are your best friends list, or that add to your friends specific, your Star Fox Rogue specific friend list within the game. I think that would also make sense. That's pretty much it.
Nice. Cool.
That's awesome.
Nice. I did not expect Star Fox to be a round one pick, but I think you've sold me on it. That's pretty cool.
I think in some ways, some of my picks are very much along those lines where because you don't expect to be hyped about it, you are, that kind of a thing. But there's also then the other side of that, the Mario Karts, for example. I almost said some other franchise, but then I would just be giving that one away. So,
and Star Fox has been so dormant for so long,
Yeah.
And Star Fox Zero, I don't know where y'all stand on that, but that was kind of that was a big whiff for me personally. So.
So a lot of my picks, I think I'm leaning concept first. Obviously there's some franchise, big heavy hitters in that regard, but I care more about nailing the concept, because I think that that matters more at the end of the day. You can make a franchise that's brand new be a multi-million-dollar seller if the concept is strong enough, i.e. Splatoon, and Mario was new at one point in time, what I mean? So I think concept matters most.
Arms, baby.
Don't give it away. You got a while to go for your next turn.
I'm trying to plant that seed in y'all.
Yeah, there you go.
Someone call out arms.
Is that just a sabotage?
You should really do arms.
Yeah.
All right, Landry, what's your pick? Is it going to be arms?
No, not arms. I'm actually shocked it's still on the board. I'm going to take Nintendo's mascot. I'm going to go with Super Mario Odyssey direct sequel.
Wow. All right, where's it going?
This one's going to be called Super Mario Layover. And right after, the events of the first game, you're in the airship following around Peach to all the different kingdoms, and the check engine light comes on. You got to stop at some kind of airport. But things are taking a little longer than normal. And when you're in that airport, you're kind of messing around. This is a tutorial level. It's very fun, very whimsical, but you get sucked into one of the paintings that's got this really tropical setting kind of on it, and it is Delfino Island. And that's where the second game takes place. But it's 20 years in the future. We've had a lot of economic progress. There's it's a little bigger.
Mario hasn't aged yet.
Yeah, it's a little bigger, but there's new stuff everywhere, and all of the new levels you get to go to aren't necessarily based on the levels from the old game. I haven't really thought out how this is going to happen, but you're kind of going to somewhat familiar places, but they're still new 3D levels. And instead of the 8-bit kind of 2D stuff, they're going to bump it up to 16-bit, give a little Super Mario World throwback for those levels. So
I like it.
Twice the colors.
Super Mario Layover. That's the twice the color.
Twice the
Let-
bits.
What's your category for this? Is this opener or?
Yeah, that's the opener.
I will add it in here.
Opening with Mario.
Mhm.
How
Mario.
cliche. How cliche of you,
Wow.
Landry.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes cliches get the job done.
I think Mario Kart's more cliche. Actually, I think it's always been the system seller for many, many years now.
I think Star Fox is the most cliche that it gets.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Lies.
I don't think people are buying a Nintendo console for Star Fox. Not a lot of people.
My Star Fox.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
For AJ's Star Fox,
Mhm.
yes,
There you go.
specifically.
I'm gonna say, because I mean I can't use it now, but my Mario idea was Mario in time and something time travel, and I hadn't fleshed it out yet, but I was gonna do it on the fly. But that's that time.
There's something time travel. He's
I love
coming
it.
back.
But yeah, Leggy, that's great.
All right, Parker. So you have
I have two in a
rounds
row.
There you go.
So okay, I'm gonna get one that I don't know, feels like it's like somebody else is gonna get it if I don't. This is the one more thing, and it's Metroid Prime 4. We're just
Fair.
so as far as hype goes, like that's just right now, that feels like that's the most palpable hype thing that there is. It's been like waiting for it for so long. So
Yeah.
I mean, as far as games go, it's a pinball game through and through. Just kidding.
Wait, what?
No, I mean, I think, looks really good. They also, am I allowed to do this? I'm just gonna do this because this isn't really part of it, but they're just gonna announce the Nintendo Switch sequel, and that or they won't announce it. They'll just say that it's gonna be cross-gen release or something like that. Then I get a little extra bonus points of hype? Question mark.
What do y'all think? That
I don't know about
I'm fine with
this.
that not being on there. That's not a big deal. But I will say overall, looks, it's the best looking game on the Switch, at least so far or whatever. And is pretty similar to most Metroid Prime things, games, but just a little bit more open-ended. And because to my understanding, I still haven't played Metroid Prime Remastered. I have it downloaded and just haven't started it yet because I'm waiting for the
so
opportune time. But to my understanding, it's pretty backtracky, but also kind of linear as far as as compared to maybe some of the other Metroids like Super Metroid, that's maybe a little bit less linear. So this one will be more open-ended and kind of open worldy and stuff. And that's that.
there you go.
I've been sleeping on Metroid Prime, man. I played it when I was a kid, but I did not really think of it. I love Super Metroid, but I didn't think of Metroid Prime in the tier that it is.
Mhm.
That game is like a real masterpiece. Playing the remastered version,
Beautiful.
It's so wonderful and so
Mhm.
fun.
Good.
And, even though it is a little linear, it's still backtracking and all that. Every time I backtracked, I found something new in those places because I had a new skill to kind of mess around with. So I don't know. I thought the game was designed pitch perfect.
Yeah. I'm excited to try it out. Honestly, it's just I want to at this point, most of my Switch gaming is handheld or I only have 30 minutes. I want to have an evening where it's I've got the TV and have not other things to do. And that hasn't really happened yet since it's come out. But one of these days in 2027, it'll happen. And Metroid Prime 5 will have been out. But no, that's not true.
I mean,
Definitely not.
Okay, so that's at this pace, Metroid Prime 4.2 will be out.
Yeah.
Okay, so my round 2, this one, okay, I could go a bunch of different directions. Do I want to get one that somebody else is going to get first? I'm gonna go opener
already.
and Donkey Kong.
Oh,
And the tricky thing is, AJ, you know why, especially, I can't say a whole lot about this.
This is the funny thing because I thought about that. See, this is the thing. We were at risk of just having literally the same exact direction. And I was like, Parker's probably going to want that. And also, I don't envy him for trying to figure out how to make this interesting without shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit.
We've got a video that'll be coming out probably this week or sometime pretty soon.
At least for
because-
Patreon.
Yeah. So out pretty soon. That'll talk about all this. I guess the only bits that I'll give away of that, because I don't know, video. Is open world, but with good reason. And I don't even want to. I'll say it in this context because whatever. The title is Donkey Kong New Donk City.
Ooh,
Nice.
And then there's a bunch of fun stuff around that. So pretend you didn't hear that before watching the video though, because it's like it was up in the video in the middle.
Pretend.
There we go. All right, that's
nice.
That's my
It's a
next
fun one.
So,
That's a fun one. Sorry, Landry. I know that.
but I think
I know, man.
same kind of
That's
idea as
so-
Star
one of my
Fox in any
favorite
case where it's like,
franchises by far.
yeah, you know, in the sense that like in theory somebody's like, I don't know, is a Donkey Kong game all that exciting? But like if you do it right, absolutely. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Nice.
My dream Donkey Kong game for a long time has been like a 3D overworld, but then all of the levels are 2D. So as you get to them, you kind of, I don't know if you fall into them or what, but I don't know how much sense that would make, but it would be a lot of fun.
I feel like you have to at least, honestly, New Super Lucky's Tale, I don't know if you played that, but that's like mostly a 3D platformer, but then has some 2D levels just because it does. And I feel like that's a pretty nice combination where it's like, yeah, for no good reason, the camera's fixed now and you just have to deal with it. But then you can kind of like make puzzles and platforming sections that only work that way. And that's fun.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. All right, Landry, it's back to you. What's your round 2 pick?
Well, again, I can't believe this is still on the board. It being probably like the second most popular Nintendo franchise, I would think.
Yeah, for real.
I'm going to go with one more thing, and this is going to be a Legend of Zelda brand new game. It's made by Grezzo, and this time they have gone back to a more traditional kind of Zelda formula. A lot of us here love Breath of the Wild. I consider it probably my favorite game of all time, but I also really love those traditional Zelda games. Those are, some of my fondest memories in gaming. And for this one,
is this top down, by the way?
This is 3D.
Okay.
So for this one, the idea that I have is that, Ganondorf always posts up in Hyrule Castle for some reason. And that just like kind of is boring. And there might be some lore reason for that, but in this one, Ganon and Ganondorf are back, but they're not going to post up in Hyrule Castle. In fact, everyone in the city and everything is going to have to hide in Hyrule Castle. And that's going to be kind of like the quest hub for Link. He's going to go around. It's going to be kind of like a link between worlds where he can get quests for people, go out into the world that is like overrun by monsters, maybe check on people's farms, do some chores for them, knock stuff out. But also, there's going to be a classic dungeon structure as well. But hopefully with the way that Link Between Worlds did it, where you can kind of go about a little more in an open world fashion and maybe take an item to a specific place. So more of a traditional 3D Zelda, not Breath of the Wild like.
This
I
is
do.
the part where I will flip the table. I'm like, you end it like that.
Oh man, I'd be so upset.
I'm feeling pretty strong with Mario and Zelda as my
That's true.
Yeah, honestly,
closer.
Hot trash. This is not fair.
Let this
I'm
happen.
jealous of Parker's, but I feel like I got a good people's choice pick.
I mean, just brand representation wise, yeah. Honestly, I think most of mine is going to be one of those like you look at the titles and you're like, I guess, but then you watch it, it's like, oh, those are some cool things. But yeah, as far as just I don't know, good solid representation. Yeah.
We can just call it right now. Landry's going to win. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, probably, but yeah.
The night is young. Here we go. All right, AJ, what's your round 2 pick?
All right, so I said I wanted to go in order, but y'all be scaring me with the I'm surprised this still. So Pokemon would be my big beefy middle. I had to do it. For the big beefy middle. Specifically,
Okay.
what I would do for Pokemon. This is another like video thing, so I don't want to go like too much into detail.
All your secrets.
I would definitely make this Pokemon Gray. It would be a follow-up to Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. It would be in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sort of like through line that they're going down right now, where it's like they start off like, how about sandbox, open world ? open world exclamation point, the open world, but better this time. And it will use the fact that Unova is like based on like the tri-state area, essentially. Like it's a city with a desert for some reason. Use elements from like Arceus in terms of like minute to minute gameplay. And really bring back the idea of like Black and White 2 was meant to be like a hard reboot of like this is all new Pokemon. You can't even find a Pikachu here. But rather than it being like that in terms of like the Pokemon, you find that in terms of gameplay. And the same way that like Arceus was this safe like testing ground for like, what if this was different? And similar with like Let's Go, what if this was different? This would be that. It would be like everybody that knows anything about me knows that the thing I hate the most about Pokemon is playing Pokemon. And I think that turn-based nature of it is a huge detriment to the what I think is like in opposition, it's like huge popularity because like turn-based games, love them or hate them, like they're definitely not the most popular games outside of Pokemon. So I think that making a game like this more of an action RPG would make more sense and would like ingratiate even more people to the series for the long term in terms of like it being more than just something that you play once for 20 hours and not think about anymore. Like it's something that not only does Pokemon and Game Freak and the Pokemon company at large want people to like spend hundreds to thousands of hours playing this game, it's something that I think people could want to play in the same way that people want to play things like fighting games or racing games and stuff like that. Because the minute to minute is fun.
Nice.
That would be my pitch for that.
There you go.
I like it.
Very nice.
I like it.
All right,
I'm also
Jake.
not happy with you for picking Pokemon. I don't know why I thought you wouldn't pick Pokemon. But...
I had to. I mean, well, I had to do it now. It was definitely so. I did like a vague thing. Like I did a little preparation for this where I was like, I'll probably be able to get to it before somebody else. So like, these are the picks that I have. So far, nobody took anything that I was like, I'll get this.
I gotta do this
now.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
All right, so I have two questions now that I'm kind of slim on major IPs. So Landry has taken Zelda.
Okay.
My question and my pitch to the group is, would we consider like ports and or like remasters as part of that franchise still?
I would say yes.
Going back to, it's tricky because I'd say going to Mark's setup of like, could multiple of these things show up in one? Well, that's a good point. So like, I mean, I'm just going to throw it out. Wind Waker HD or whatever, for example, is that could totally be in the same thing as a new Zelda game. But it is the same.
It is
something.
Zelda.
What I would say, something I would say is like it depends on how fans define it. Like if you were to be like, okay, traditional 3D Zelda is taken, but I want to do a top-down Zelda game, I wouldn't object to that at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, more of a traditional 2D versus 3D kind of. You mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But I think as far as if you're thinking
out.
port remaster and do Wind Waker HD, I'd probably say that kind of a thing would be already taken. Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
all right.
Just think that they've said that Wind Waker is ready to go, like just sitting in the factory, but they haven't talked about it because
my idea was a Wind Waker HD
sense,
and Twilight Princess HD like collection pack. Just slap that bad boy onto the eShop and send it out there. All right. Okay.
Send it.
So now I have to choose here. I get two in a row. Now the second question I have, Parker, maybe we didn't allow his Super Switch or the Switch successor in because he already tucked it in with a title. Can we still actually use hardware as one of our announcements, or are we only sticking to franchises? I'm going to open this up to the board as well.
Yeah, I'll leave that to the group. Discuss. What do you think?
I'm not opposed to hardware.
I would say games only, just for the spirit of the competition.
I think I would. I mean, more thinking like, what would Nintendo be liable to do in a Nintendo Direct in 2020, during the Switch era at least? Like, I think earlier days they would have been more liable to do that, whereas we haven't seen that, with the exception of if it was hardware that that was game specific, like a Game and Watch for this thing or something like that, then I could like totally see that. But if it's use a slot for next gen Switch,
What
I just don't really see that happening.
I mean, I think it's probably too late for this, but I think something that they would do is do an entire Nintendo Direct centered around whatever the new hardware is. So if like all your announcements were ahead of time being like, well, this is for the new hardware, and your opener was new hardware, then it would make more sense. I'll say that.
So final votes. Jake is obviously a 4. What do y'all say? For or against?
I would say keep it to games. Personally.
I'd probably say against, unless it's again like a Game and Watch kind of a thing, or like something that's where the hardware is subsequent to the game that's it's attached to. I don't know.
AJ, what do you think?
That's fair. I would say keep it to games given the context of where we're at currently.
Okay.
All right, keep it to the games. Keep it to the games. Okay. Man, this is like one more riddle that I feel like I should have asked ahead of time. Okay,
this is a bummer of a round for you. I'm sorry.
So then, how do we feel about? Well, no, I have some other good ones in here. I'm just trying to like get out my better ones still. How would you feel about like new games being added to a particular service? So
totally fine.
Like not just nondescript. Like, hey, we're getting this new console added to NSO or like whatever.
Yep, fine by me.
We're okay with that because that's just games, but it's not. You know, we're not picking a franchise or anything like that.
Yep. Okay.
All right. I have 2 options here. So I'm gonna go with a fun one. I don't think this is gonna be the banger that I want it to be, but it's a fun one. So, I'm gonna do it just because I like this one so much, and I'm proud of this one. So I am gonna pull in the one more thing. Okay.
Ooh.
One more thing. I'm gonna close out with this one, I think. Well, no, this is gonna be the opener. Forgive me. This is gonna be the opener, I guess. This is weird. Okay.
I mean, those are kind of interchangeable.
My bracket's broken. All right. So Super Mario Bros. RPG, does this count?
I think that counts.
Yep.
Because it's not 3D Mario. It's the Square / Mario RPG sequel, essentially.
Yeah, you're safe.
Okay. So the sequel to the beloved Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars is in development, this time with updated HD 2D graphics, similar as to Live Alive and other more recent titles like Octopath Traveler. Join up with Luigi this time to save Mushroom Kingdom with familiar friends Geno, Mallow, Bowser, and Peach. Unfortunately, those aren't the only familiar faces. Antagonists from the entire Mario and Luigi franchise have teamed up to stop the Mario Bros. Once and for all. So it's pulling in not just folks and antagonists from the Square side, but you're getting a little bit of crossover from like other turn-based Mario and Luigi RPG games. And it's going to be beautiful. HD 2D.
Very nice. Those other RPG characters or other Mario RPG characters?
Yes, Mario and Luigi RPG specifically. That's that franchise. That are the ones that are on like DS and GBA.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Jake, do you have a job in marketing? Because you sound like you had a log line written out there.
I tried on some of these. Other ones I didn't get very far. I was like, I don't know what to say about Star Fox 3. Like, I just put Star Fox 3.
Nice.
I was similar to like AJ. I was like, he'll be on land and he'll be also in space, like Star Fox Adventures plus Star Fox. But then I was like, that was a bad game. That I think they tried making that actually. All right.
Next pick. Here we go.
And then one more thing. I'm going to go ahead and say GameCube games are headed to NSO.
Wow.
Strong.
Dang, okay. I don't have a logo for that, so you can pull one.
You got your Wind Waker and Twilight Princess in a roundabout way.
That's true.
There you go.
Sort of.
Nice.
Yeah, that's strong.
Nice. Any other thoughts on that while I am pulling the logo?
Yeah, so I said starting with Melee, Double Dash, Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Strikers, Mario Party 4, and more along the way. Those are the games that I just threw out there. They're going to throw out a new GameCube official controller. I think they actually still have an official GameCube controller. I don't know, actually. But the Wavebird 2.0, 3.0, whatever they want to call that next iteration of one of the most perfect controllers ever made.
Which melee are they going to use? They're going to use the Power Region to make everybody mad, or are they going to use NTSC and make everybody mad?
They're going to use the one that the fans have developed. I forget what's the netcode that they use.
Other M. Project M.
Oh, the Slippy one? They're going to just use straight up Slippy melee?
What's the netcode that everyone likes that they
Slippy.
play online tournaments
Yeah,
with?
Slippy.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the best one is. Yeah, one of those.
Slippy would be crazy. That would be wild.
Very nice. All right, good pick. All right, AJ, back to you.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to going in order because it's easier for me. I'm gonna do the eShop exclusive. It's Punch Out. It's just Punch Out, but like it looks
Nice.
cool and neat and
Nice.
fun. And maybe we throw in like a challenge mode that like makes it like a Switch specific like gimmick kind of thing where it's like this fighter you got to use HD Rumble to figure out his pattern, and this one you got to use motion controls, and this one you got to use the touchscreen, like that sort of thing. Make it freaking online multiplayer, 2 players. Why not? Sure.
Is there a specific developer for this? In your opinion?
I mean, if it's the eShop title, I think it has to be like somebody like either it's Nintendo EPD, which is like I think the biggest you get for like an eShop exclusive kind of sort of situation, or it's like a smaller like up and coming like indie studio that's like that Nintendo eventually acquires 10 years down the road.
There you go.
Nice.
Nice. Good pick. All right. Landry, you are up next.
All right. Oh man, this is tough. This is a really difficult decision. I got a couple of great ideas. I think for the port remaster, I'm gonna go with Mother 2, Earthbound. We're gonna remaster Earthbound. But this is like so hold on real quick. Is this like can this be like a remake, or does it have to be a remaster? Like when I think of remaster, I'm thinking like we're not just like brushing up the pixels for the Super Nintendo version.
I would personally say almost just about anything that's not Final Fantasy VII remake, where it's like, oh no, that's just a new game. But like if it's remade, but I guess I think that's
Link's Awakening style remake. Is that
the thing that came to mind?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like what I'm thinking is like Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Like maybe not like I wasn't 100% on like the like chibi kind of graphics they did for that, but like just bringing it into that same top down perspective, brushing up some of the harder mechanics and giving it that like HD like shine or polish.
I'd say that's fine.
Cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking for Earthbound.
Yeah. I had Mother 3 and Mother 4 potentially somewhere, and Mother 2 was not even on my radar, but like that, I think that's a great play.
One of my favorite Super Nintendo RPGs, and there are so many good ones. Like, I mean, Super Mario RPG is already up there, so.
Nice. There you go. All right, Parker, you got your 2 rounds now.
Ooh, okay, I got 2. So let's see, how do I want to play this? Okay, just going for the hype purposes of this, and to maybe sabotage a little bit elsewhere too.
Oh no,
monster.
Port remaster. I don't even want this specifically, but Smash Melee. It's already been mentioned in the GameCube things, but since Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are also in there, and that's not same as Zelda, like those are different things. I would imagine at least, and I don't think they would do it. Like it's not a good idea. It only would bring hype. That's it. And I think I think it would make a lot of people that like are just on the peripheral would be like, whoa, and then would never care again. It's one of those things where, I mean, it's like a Mother 3 kind of situation where it's like, how many people are actually going to buy that? You know, but like a lot of people will be like, oh, people talk about this thing
libraries,
all the time.
like that kind of thing. Like in concept, it sounds like the hypest thing ever.
Yes.
I play it once and then maybe once every 3 months.
Exactly that. So I think that's what I'm going to do for that. It just has the star power, I think is really what it is. But like, again, in
it's a good headline topic.
Yep, exactly.
That's true.
So, and
Man.
but it's a remaster. It's so like they can add some, I mean, graphically it's better and stuff like that. And like
add more bugs so that people may like it more.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, or ironically, fix all the bugs and people hate it.
And people hate it. Yeah.
Like, it's a no-win scenario for sure, but hype, So yeah, that's that one. And
Nice.
okay. I'm pretty sure all my other categories are like pretty niche things anyway, so I think we're pretty safe on. I don't have to like. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. Sorry, I'm just deciding for sure before I commit. Yeah, third-party IP.
Ooh, okay. First one here.
Yeah. No, okay, I'm changing it.
Oh, no.
Sorry. All right, so it opens on it's a grassy field. And there's like pretty music and like wind and stuff like that, and then a sword just like into the ground, and then people are like, I kind of vaguely recognize that sword from something, and it's like all fantasy and stuff. And then people realize, is this maybe the character and stuff from that Monolith posting from 2018 or 2019 job posting of concept art? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's that.
Right,
and then the trailer continues. And then at the end, it flashes Golden Sun. And they are one and the same.
I knew it was coming, man.
It lasted this long. Wow.
Golden Sun.
Because like I think that anything that we know about for forever and finally shows back up, that brings hype in and of itself. And so like the Monolith thing, I'd thought about separately, and then I was like, I probably just wasn't going to put Golden Sun anywhere in here because hype-wise,
I would have never bought that for a second. I saw Alex say Golden Sun earlier in the chat. I'm like, well, he's not voting for my direct.
Yeah, right. Oh man. So yeah, it's that, and I haven't decided. I still want it to be turn-based, but it's Monolith, so I could also see it be, more like the Xenoblade kind of a thing, or maybe more like halfway in between, where it's like Final Fantasy Remake. But I mean, I'd still like it to be turn-based in any case. But yeah, that's the pitch in any case. It's Golden Sun 4, but looks-wise, it is more like the Monolith concept art thing and fantasy. And
where did that go?
Honestly, I mean, all I can assume is like, yeah, that was for some reason concept art for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and they just didn't want to make it look like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or something. I don't know, but that's
nice.
That's that.
I'm assuming that's the big beefy middle for you.
That is okay. Indeed.
Nice. All right. Well, with that,
your direct is. Man, it's got me fanboying out.
let you know who he's voting for now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that, we are slightly over halfway done. So, Landry, if you will take your round 4 pick.
Round 4, man, they get harder and harder every time. I had this in my head like 5 seconds ago. Okay, all right, I got it. For the big beefy middle, I think. In my head, the Mario Kart team hasn't been working on Mario Kart 9. They've been working on
Arms 2.
Not Arms 2. Racing game. A kart racing game. A sequel to the best kart racing game of all time. Diddy Kong Racing 2.
It's Mega Man. Mega Man's popping off right now.
And this is Diddy Kong Racing is a great game because it's got an adventure mode, and you can kind of explore this space and come across all these different levels, and there's challenges in the overworld, but there's also some really interesting challenges in the races as well. You're not just racing against people. You have like boss battles and coin battles and stuff like that. Plus the multiplayer is not terrible from what I remember. So this game will have that full single player adventure, but it's also going to have the multiplayer focus as well that Mario Kart has.
Yes. Any other notes that I should add here on our sheet?
Exclamation point.
Just one?
Like 5. Throw 5 in there.
There we go. That might have been 6. Just one.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, I apologize. I didn't have Diddy Kong Racing in my logo, so I had to pull that. But
hey, that was nice.
I apologize for disrespect. There you go. All right. Next up, AJ, what is your round 4 pick?
Okay, wait, where am I at with this? This is I did the big beefy middle. I'm on remaster Nintendogs plus cats.
That was my eShop only. Nicely
It's
done.
gonna be full HD and all
Nintendogs.
pretty and stuff,
Mhm,
man. And it's gonna have mobile integration to substitute for the lack of Street Pass in the Nintendo Switch system.
Mhm.
Take your dog on a walk, but literally when you walk with your cell phone, it has like a
I hate
Pokemon Go kind of app, but it's Nintendogs though.
Mm,
Yep. That's honestly sleeper hit. Like, not for me personally, I don't think. I've got a dog and I haven't played Nintendogs ever. But like in terms of just sales, if past sales speak for themselves, then yeah, man, that's strong.
good pick. Nice.
Get
Oh,
just love how-
the casuals in there. The
I just
Blue
love how-
Ocean.
Yeah, Blue Ocean strategy.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit all
Yeah.
markets. And that's what I think about when I think good direct, and me and Parker talk about this a lot. It's a direct that tries to serve everybody. Like it's not just about like only what I like. And I like Nintendogs fine, but I think that it will be a bigger deal for like people that are not just like hardcore gamers.
Honestly, the Animal Crossing crowd, if they can
Yeah.
get them into Nintendogs, then like
ooh.
yeah, that's a big pocket right there.
Nintendogs is constantly my year beginning prediction for Nintendo is this is the year they're releasing Nintendogs for Switch, and it never happens. But it's still making it.
Mhm.
All right, Jake, you've got your 2 picks now.
I've got some good ones here, mate. I've got some good ones. What are you buying? All right. So this one's just kind of fun, and I don't care. It's the year of Mario. We've all seen Mario movies out. Everyone's all about Super Mario World right now at Universal. My direct is all about Mario for the most part. Okay, but not just about his mainline stuff. All right, we're gonna get into the weeds here a little bit. We already got Mario RPG. We got Mario Kart. We're going for our $20 to $30 eShop only game.
Oh,
We're
boy.
going Mario Mini Golf. All right, guys.
Oh,
Mario Golf.
So there for that.
Not Mario
I like
Golf.
it.
Mario Mini Golf. All right. Compete against other Mushroom Kingdom characters as you put it out on some wild and wacky mini golf courses that revisit iconic locations from previous Mario titles. Play online or locally against friends and try out the new course builder that uses the Switch touchscreen capabilities. It's available now.
Oof.
wow.
That's good.
Thank you.
Honestly, I kind of want that.
Yeah,
We've been playing golf with your friends, I think, just every once in a while, and it's a fun time. And I just more mini golf stuff is.
Oh, yeah.
It's so accessible too, and that's nice.
Exactly. I mean, really, golf games in general are pretty accessible, but yeah, I love putt-putt in real life. And I just think the idea of having these little mini dioramas, at like the best putt-putt places, but reusing assets from the Mario Kingdom. So you got Bowser's Castle, you got Rosalina's Observatory, you got Toad Town, you got all kinds of places you could go if you want to. I think it'd be really fun. So Luigi's Mansion, good stuff, good themes.
Nice.
Strong.
Okay.
All right.
And then my second one. Okay, so Landry's not here right now, and I feel like he needs to be here for this because I might snipe a Zelda. I might snipe a Zelda thing really quick.
Oh, boy.
Go for it.
So in terms of the port and remaster, would a remaster of or remake of Zelda 2 count?
Oh, interesting.
I'd take it. Yeah.
I
I'd say
guess
that
it
works.
depends on like what, like, is it just like literally just a remaster of the port? Like, because if it's like 2D Zelda, then yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 2D, but that's Landry needs to object if he objects. All right, Landry.
Jake,
So
what kind of worming have you done this time? You weasel. I already know that you're trying to break the rules.
I said for my port or remaster that remaster we could do Zelda 2, but actually playable,
That's actually good.
actually fun.
Interesting. Well, that game is
It's 2D.
pretty broken from like the ground up, so it's going to be difficult. But if that's what you want to choose, go for
Hey,
it.
that's not the part he has to worry about. He doesn't.
That's
actually
why it's
play the
That's
game.
true.
That's why it's a remake, baby.
Just
That's why it's a
imagine that it's good.
That's right.
So-
No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I do like that game.
So the idea is here, yeah, everyone that's played Zelda 2 likes it, but there's major issues with the systems, and it's incredibly hard, and it's just obtuse, and just not a good experience. You know, this was like, I don't know if this was before Metroid or after Metroid, but they still hadn't really figured that whole situation out. And so they're going to bring on the team from Yacht Club Games to help with this one. And actually, I'm sorry, Mark, for the confusion on this. Should I put this underneath the third-party IP if Yacht Club's going to be developing this and they're publishing it?
Well, it's not a third-party IP.
Right. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're so right. You're so right. Okay, thank you. Okay, so then keep it there. And yeah, they're basically going to apply all of the amazing 2D just elements that they picked up from Shovel Knight, and they're going to be importing that into Zelda 2 to make it just the best of both worlds. It's just going to be a lot more accessible, a lot more fun. Still look great. It's going to still have that pixelated style, but it's just going to be way, way, way better. So,
will all of the like when there's battles in the over, you know, like little enemies run up to you and stuff in the overworld, like does everything play out basically the same functionally, just with obviously updated like combat mechanics and graphics and stuff like that, but like moment to moment is kind of, do you know what I'm trying to say? Or is that different as well?
I think it's gonna be almost entirely retooled. Like, think of it more playing like Shovel Knight in terms of just like fluidity. It's a lot faster. You can do a lot more. Importing some of like Link's more modern move sets, like his spin attack. You still have the down thrust and other things, but I think just bringing in modern gameplay elements that make that game way more fun, so people can actually still experience the story. Because the story is the same. It's just the gameplay is going to be way better.
Yep.
Nice.
Does somebody still say "I am error"? Is that still in there? Okay, cool,
yes.
cool.
Yes, of course. I am error.
It's so funny to me.
Excellent.
Good choice.
All right, round 5. AJ, what's your pick?
Again, where am I at on my thing? I am on Nintendo published third party. Banjo 3.
Wow, that's
man.
strong.
That is so strong.
That's
Nice.
really good. I hadn't even thought about that.
Nicely job.
Yeah.
It's Banjo
Nicely
3.
done.
There you go. I mean, I guess we can do. Let's do it's like a team effort between like, because it's like balls to the wall, like 4chan league kind of thing. It's like a team effort between Playtonic, Retro, and Rare. It's like all of them working on this game, and it's like the like
Xbox.
the like it's on both. it's like the Mario Odyssey like that equivalent to like Mario 64 for Banjo-Kazooie. It's like Banjo-Kazooie, but like what if it was made now and good for now, rather than the ukulele thing where it's like, what if we just made an N64 game and period? Just an N64 game. It's like it's an N64 game, but it's what your brain thinks N64 games feel like.
Strong pick. Wow.
Aside beef with ukulele, I only played a little bit of it, and like there's a double jump in that game, and every jump is tuned to the double jump, so the single jump has no purpose, and that's just the stupidest thing. I don't know. That's not like entirely true, but it's at least somewhat true. And that was some beef that I had with
The
it.
Impossible Layer is infinitely better.
Oh yeah,
The
so
first
so
one
much better.
is not.
Yeah,
Good.
I've heard great things about Impossible Layer.
The first one was like a good game. It was just like ballooned out. Every level was ballooned out way too big. Even before you had like I know you could like make them bigger. Even before that, it just seems like everything was like too spaced out. It was not great.
Yeah,
Impossible Layer is amazing.
Nice. Man, that was a
That's
sneaky
strong.
pick. Yeah,
Yeah.
strong. Well done. All right, Landry, what's your next pick?
Dang, man.
So disappointed in himself. He didn't pick this.
Yeah, I really am. It's such a bummer. Okay, I'm gonna go eShop only, and I'm gonna go with NBA Jam. And this is not
WW.
just a modern day.
I'm
Like
here
we
for
got
it.
current NBA rosters. No microtransactions. It's just a good, like, you can play online with your friends. You can go through, like, do like a franchise or whatever. Like the one they made for PS3 and Wii back in like 2011 was awesome. And unfortunately the servers are shut down. So if you go back and try and play that, it's basically like you can play like you can basically play the single player, but like none of the actual mechanics are there because they were all attached to the online servers. So it's kind of a bummer. But yeah, they need to get that back up and running. That game, just 2v2 arcade classic action. It's hard to beat.
Nice.
Good choice.
Good pick here. All right, Parker.
All right.
You have bless you.
Thank you. I can finish my whole one out right now. So I'm going to go eShop only first. Not that it matters, but for hype reasons, here we go. Because this one's smaller and also, again, kind of sleeper hit sort of thing, hopefully. Again, if you remember concept art from Good Feel in 2019, there was some concept art that they put out. And Good Feel's the ones that do the Yoshi games, like Yoshi's Woolly World and Crafted World and stuff like that. They put out some concept art for here, I can just post it in, you can, here's in the chat if anybody wants to see it, /mostly if you want to take that to put the picture in there.
Here we go.
Yeah, so that's the one right there, is all this stuff in the middle. I don't know what it's called. Samurai, the Seven Samurais, that's what it is. Couldn't tell you why, but it is. And it's just a little eShop game that they make, and it's really good, and everybody likes it. That's as much as I thought about that one, which is not very much because Nintendogs was going to be my pick.
Oh no!
I think it'll be good, and that's that. So what I've thought about a little bit more, though, I'll wait for this because it's so important for this picture.
I saved the image, and now I have no idea where I saved it.
Oh no! Okay, so I know AJ remembers this because we've talked about it a couple of times. Like Jake and Landry, is this still even on your radar at all, or was it ever?
Wait, which one are you talking about?
This thing from Good Feel. Like, I don't know if this is something that people are like, oh yeah, I remember that was talked about and then never materialized.
No idea.
No, man. I know that Good Feel made a game called Monkey Barrels in like 2019, but it was not it was not affiliated with Nintendo. And I was interested in that, but I never got around to play. I think it was just an iPhone game. But I never heard about the Seven Samurai thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not called that. It's not even called anything, I don't think. But yeah, they just gave concept art out, and it was supposed to release in 2021. So it probably got canceled, honestly. Or just COVID. So probably got super delayed, if nothing else. But it looks cool from like just looking at the concept art, and I'd be down to play it.
Very nice.
All right. And then my last one is third-party IP is we haven't seen it for some reason on consoles really in a long, long time. And there's no good reason for it. And there is now a good reason for it, is that there is like HD 2D remake, because of course, of Chrono Trigger. And it's Nintendo Switch exclusive, and this is where it's happening. And I don't know if they're retooling anything, maybe nothing, because I've never played it, but apparently it's a practically perfect RPG. But people love it, so there it is, Chrono Trigger HD 2D remake.
Waiting for Alec to say something.
And that is exactly what I was going to say, Parker. Great work.
Oh, nice.
Is it really?
I should have done it before NBA Jam. That's
man. Honestly, I thought I was like, I don't know if anybody's going to think of it. I had very few. Otherwise, like Astral Chain and SSX are my other ones where I was like,
man,
Astral Chain's not really a third party IP, and SSX like it's just EA, so that's not going to happen.
EA.
Yeah, EA bought like all of the arcade sports IPs in the like 2010s and 2000s, and then ran them all into the ground. And now, like, if you want to play a good arcade sports game, you just can't. You have to go buy like NBA Jam Playgrounds or NBA Playgrounds. That game's just trash.
Yeah.
Or like play terrible snowboard games. It's awful, man.
Yep.
ADA for that one.
Man, I miss 1080 and SSX and stuff. Like that was just some good times.
Yeah.
If I were a participant here, my port or remaster would be an SSX game, or I'll try to sneak in a trilogy.
I'm kind of surprised that part.
I knew you were going to say that, Mark.
Any of those. Update from Alec in the chat. He said if they changed anything, people would burn Square.
Okay, that's what I assume. So yeah, Chrono Trigger just looks nicer.
I feel like Parker's direct so far has like the biggest potential for just angry people. Melee and Chrono Trigger.
True.
He's playing with fire.
You're not wrong.
No, that Chrono Trigger HD remake, it's like baffling that hasn't happened yet. That's just such a layup.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay,
yeah.
Landry, you're up.
I know, and I'm kind of like drawing blanks here, but I can pull something together here. This is very much like what I want to see Nintendo do, and that is, I don't know if we're doing collections, but I would love to see them help Square Enix publish the Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6 DS trilogy that they had, the remakes. Like maybe republish those for the Switch. Give them the HD up-res, but just leave them kind of the way they are.
Nice.
Go
ahead.
Nintendo and Square have been working quite a bit this console generation together with Octopath and others. So
I was going to say Square feels like just a really safe bet third-party. Basically, you could like think of anything Square and be like, Nintendo gets it first, and then slot it in there, and you're good to go. Yeah, exactly.
I keep on trying to find a Dragon Quest logo, and I keep on getting the WebP formats, which doesn't help me.
Man, apparently I think it is on Safari. Maybe it doesn't do that. Like that's a Google Chrome specific thing. I want to say.
Wow.
I could be wrong about that.
Let me down. Well, I just did a screenshot, so it's going to look a little janky, but I apologize.
Works.
There you go.
Perfect.
Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
All right, AJ, what's your final pick here?
My final pick, and I mean, I guess we need to convene here and see if this flies, but I think it's on the up and up. Is 2D Mario specifically?
Okay.
And on that, all right. So I think that this should be Super Mario Brothers 4, and that specifically because I have voiced disdain for the fact that every time we get 2D Mario now, it's a new Super Mario Brothers game, and I think that's stupid, and I hate it.
That art style's bad.
Yeah, it's so bad. And also, like, it's the only time that they've ever been like 2D Mario. I will just do the same art style again. So that's the main excuse that I want for this is for them to like come up with some sort of new, exciting, interesting art style. And also I think that it's a good opportunity for them to kind of like try to reinvent the wheel a little bit. Go with the sort of like Sonic Adventure kind of approach where it's like all the characters are like distinctly different from each other beyond just like his jumps kind of different. Like how they engage with suits might be a little different or like, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
also, I think that if they are going to like incorporate multiplayer again, which I'm kind of split on that because it's not really like you're never really playing with somebody in those games unless you're like roughly equal skill, and then at that point it only really works if it's only two people. Like anything more than that, it just devolves into chaos regardless. I think that they should, if they're going to do multiplayer, change how they design levels to facilitate that kind of. I mean, honestly, akin to like a Sonic game where there's like multiple routes, so it's like you can cover more base or like more room with all the players that are going to play, and like you can find more Easter eggs and more collectibles, and like depending on what character you are, each character has their like ideal route, but all of them can do it with varying degrees of difficulty and stuff like that.
I mean, not to slightly, but to slightly spoil a thing in the Mario movie is there's a little bit that's like a kind of gamey section that has Mario and Luigi, and they're like opening little doors for each other and putting down little things. Like something like that, where
that's
it's like
kind of why I thought this.
Yep.
After watching, I was like, "Yo, get through 2D Mario."
Yep.
But yes, 100%. And also, I mean, it's a layout for them to be like, "You like the Mario movie, right? Here's Mario."
You like Mario, right?
There you go. Nice, very nice. And just to confirm for everyone, this flies. That it's a 2D Mario is different than 3D Mario. You okay with that? Sweet.
I did it for the Zelda one, so yeah.
There you go. That's true.
Gotta let it fly.
No, let that pass. All right, Jake, if you'll bring us home, what's your final pick here?
All right. I'm thankful that you guys went on this one. I really struggled with the third party one. I was like, I don't know what to put for this. I don't understand. Like I really had a hard time. But hearing y'all talk made me think about this, and I'm like, yeah, this would be sick. All right. So Persona 6
Wow.
is coming. and it's everything you loved. Oh gosh,
Whoa.
Oopsie. Uh-oh.
are y'all hearing that?
Yeah.
Yes. There we go.
Oh, we're okay.
What was that?
I have no idea.
Huh?
That was
That was something from mine,
Uh-oh.
apparently.
Oh, no.
Is it me?
Okay,
No?
it's gone now.
Is it you, Parker? You silly guy. All right.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right. Here it is. Persona 6. It's coming, and it's everything you loved about Persona 5, but better. That sexy music, it's back, but add in saxophones. That sexy combat, it's back, but think along the lines of Final Fantasy VII Remake, where you have the option for turn-based and kind of the action situation there. That sexy UI, it's back, but this time it's purple, the sexiest color. And it took way too long for Persona 5 to make it to Switch, and I think Atlas, they've been such long-standing partners with Nintendo that it didn't make any sense. And I think to make up for that Grievous era, they're going to bring Persona 6 first to Nintendo Switch this time around, and it's going to be incredible.
Oh, very nice. There we go. Okay. Well, our direct draft is complete. I'll run them down really quick so everyone has a final recap here. Jake's direct is Super Mario RPG, Mario Golf, Mini Golf, Mario Kart, Zelda 2 Adventure of Link Remake by Yacht Club Games. Persona 6 and GameCube games are added to NSO with a Wavebird controller. AJ's
That
controller.
you'll never be able to buy.
Yes,
Exactly.
no one can ever get it. AJ's direct is Star Fox Rogue, Punch Out, Pokemon Gray, Nintendogs plus Cats re-release, Banjo 3, maybe Kazooie, who knows, and Super Mario Brothers. What was that?
I said 3. Yes.
Banjo 3E, and then Super Mario Brothers 2D, Super Mario Brothers 4. Lands we have Super Mario Layover, the Odyssey sequel, NBA Jam, Diddy Kong Racing, an Earthbound remake, Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6 re-release, and a new 3D Zelda that's a little more traditional. Then finally, we have Parker's Direct, new Donkey Kong game, the concept art from Good Feel, whatever game that was, Golden Sun 4, Super Smash Bros. Melee is re-released, Chrono Trigger is remade, and Metroid Prime 4. It's looking great. Well, there we go. And now, any final thoughts from y'all as we start to wind down here?
I'm glad nothing got sniped. Everything went as planned.
There you go.
Love to see that.
Real quick question. Is my audio back to normal now?
It is,
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
Sound great.
Hey, look at that. Okay, cool. Yeah, this will be interesting to talk about because it is funny, like looking at the titles of things versus like thinking about what the potential of those things could be as they're presented. But like, yeah, as far as people winning, I feel like it'll be interesting.
Yeah, Landry's looking real good. He's looking real solid. Starting with Super Mario, ending with Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Getting some good middle grounds. But AJ is so he's got a lot of reach, a lot of different
Pokemon and Banjo,
variations.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
throw everything else out, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Mario too.
Mark, are we already in the like talk about who's winning or like set us up for the next thing?
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't really have a next thing in mind here. I was about to just end the episode, but while we are streaming out on Redirect, so this will go up on social media. I'll have a poll there where you can vote for your favorite direct. After we close out here, if you're watching the Redirect stream right now, you can give your vote in the chat and I'll log it down so we can start tonight. And everything else will go out once the episode is up. So I guess, yeah, as we're closing out and you know that this will be voted on, any final like pitches for your own direct?
Okay, so here's what I'll say for mine, because in thinking of like AJ's, for example, that like a lot of those are like really heavy hitter franchises just right off the bat, and I feel like a lot of mine are like kind of really, are you sure about that one? And so it really like would depend on that game looking good or whatever. So like specifically for like Golden Sun and Donkey Kong, like, and the good feel game. All three of those feel like ones where it's like, in theory, could be not appealing at all, but if done right and is like, it's the Golden Sun one is kind of like has Breath of the Wild / Dragon Quest 11 vibes, but is a Golden Sun game, or Donkey Kong has Mario Odyssey, like big open world, kind of thing vibes, but is Donkey Kong, so it's interesting,
Nice. Very nice. Jake, how do you feel about yours? What are you thinking?
I regret having 3 Mario titles back to back to back. I think that's not going to be a hit for a lot of people, but yeah, if you differentiate, if like the visual was there, you could see, okay, this is Super Mario RPG. This looks very different than Mario Mini Golf and then Mario Kart. We've been waiting for forever, so everyone's excited about that. Like, they're 3 very distinct things, but I don't love how that started. But I'm hoping on the Mario fandom right now.
There you go.
Which is pretty big. So I mean, you got that going for you for sure.
Big pull.
Yeah. And I think my direct is focused more on the grungy, I guess veteran gamers probably that are Nintendo fans still, that like love those deep, long like RPGs, and they want some of that nostalgia back. Because a lot of mine are like, I would say, like rather technical outside of maybe Mario Mini Golf.
True.
I don't think these games would appeal as much to kids, but I think a lot of the diehard Nintendo fans would be like, oh yeah, these games look sick. I can't wait to play a lot of
the
these.
GameCube contingent is strong.
The GameCube contingent is very strong. I'm hoping that's going to pull in a lot of people at the very end. And real quick, I did want to read out before I understood what the third-party IP was. I had Jackbox Nintendo Party Pack as my other option.
I do like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's a banger.
And I was like, I don't know, but yeah. Here's my write-up for this one. Everyone's favorite phone game party game is back with a family-fun Nintendo skin applied to classic Jackbox games. Play Nintendo-themed Quiplash, see who knows the most about Nintendo and trivia, and try to sell some Nintendo-themed merch with your best drawings applied.
I'd be there for that.
I'd play it.
Because everyone's got phones, everyone likes party games. And Mario Party's kind of sucked butt the past couple of times. I think people are over it now. They want something more like Jackbox maybe, so who knows.
Superstar or whatever it's called. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was all right.
And 18 million people seem to like Super Mario Party for some reason.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they bought it. I don't know.
that's the one. Yeah.
They bought it and they were like, why is this damn Toad still talking?
I wrote a blog about like how they could fix Mario Party, that one, and I had so many hits on that blog because they thought that I was giving like how to fix it, and I was like, I'm sorry.
No.
I was like, because like my number one thing was like speed up the speaking, and like just let people skip through the characters' turns, because that game took forever.
It's like, how do you do that?
Every turn was like 30 minutes.
Nice. All right, AJ, any closing arguments on your end?
I feel pretty good about mine, to be honest. I think that a lot of it, I wish I like wrote out exactly like the full ideas for all of it, because I think that despite the fact that I have some pretty strong like franchises, I think that the stronger part is like the concept of like what it is, because to me, the most exciting thing about seeing like, oh, it's this franchise that you know and love or whatever, it's like it's this franchise that you know and love but new and better.
Right.
Instead of it just being like, oh, here's a sequel to that thing that you played a billion times.
Like so if instead of seeing Breath of the Wild, we ended up seeing the 2011 Wii U demo,
right?
That, and you're like, okay,
exactly.
yeah, that's
Exactly.
it's more Zelda.
It's
That's
like
great.
it's exciting because that's Zelda, but like seeing the Breath of the Wild reveal, at least for me personally, was infinitely more exciting than that initial like teaser reveal, because it's just like, oh, so you're doing like Twilight Princess again? Okay.
Yeah, right.
But Breath of the Wild was like, oh. Okay, there we go. But Breath of the Wild was like, oh, you're doing that's great. I would have never expected that.
Parker, I think your microphone's doing it again.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Sorry about that. All right, Landry, any final thoughts on your direct here?
I mean, Super Mario and Zelda. What else? What else you need? Plus Earthbound. We've all been wanting Earthbound, right? We've been talking about that since pre-Fizame. So I think it's a pretty solid choice. I mean, the reality is Nintendo has so much strong IP. Like, I'm going to play 5 out of Parker's 6. I'm going to play 5 out of AJ's 6. I'm going to play all the GameCube games Jake listed. So it's they're all great choices.
You're not gonna play Mario Kart, Landry?
No, I'm gonna play it. I was being facetious. The only thing I probably will never play is Persona 6 because it's going to be like 600 hours. But
yeah, this one's going to be
200
200
hours. I would
hours
want to play it. I would like to. I'll like look at it and think about how I would like to play it. And never will.
But it's going to be so sexy. It's going to have purple.
It's purple this time. All right. Well, to wind us down here, we have our final segment is the what are you playing? And as always, you get one name of one game that you're currently playing. We'll go in the order of the draft here. Jake, what are you playing?
Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Nice. AJ, what are you playing?
Pokemon Scarlet.
Very nice. Landry.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Nice. Parker, if you can speak
Live
right now.
Alive.
There we go. Nice. And I have been finishing up some Metroid Dread. All right. And guys, thank you so much for doing this. This was a huge deal and a big time commitment. So thank you all for participating. It's a ton of fun. I'm glad it went well. I think it went well. And yeah, we'll do it again sometime. So where else are you all out on the internet? For more consistency's sake, I'll call you out so you can group redirect together. But Jake, where are you out on the internet?
BitBloggist on the Twitters and everywhere else. BitBloggist.
Very nice. Landry, how about you?
Soft Iconoclast on Twitter.
Nice. AJ, where can they find you?
McRae Jr. on Twitter.
Nice. And Parker?
At Parker Deal on the twits.
Very
I didn't like that.
On the twits.
Big regrets. Well, all right, everyone. Thank you for listening in. And you can follow us on the major podcasting services. You can follow us on the proper socials at 11.5 minutes and where you can vote on your favorite direct. By the time you're listening to this, unless you're listening to it live, the poll will be up and you can vote. And again, for everyone joining in live on Redirect's Twitch channel, thanks for being here. Really appreciate y'all. And that is all the time we have for today. Thanks. Bye.